everyone, it is Jazz here. Today I'm going to be telling you what I plan to be reading for the Game of Tomes readathon, also known as the gotathon. This is, of course, a Game of Thrones themed readathon, and it kind of has a role-playing aspect, if you will, where you choose a house and then you follow the journey based on the house that you've chosen. I'm going to link you to the fabulous website as well as the Instagram so you can learn more about the hosts and all the general challenges that are to be offered during this experience. I say that it is time to jump in to the prompts and what I plan to read for them. So the first one is, of course, a group prompt. You pick your group prompt based on whether you have joined the readathon before, whether you are just starting the readathon, or whether you want to change houses. So I do not want to change houses because I 100% believe in the Stark spirit. I also did do the origin story in the first round. So the group prompt for me is to continue in a series. I'm going to shoot for the moon, my friends, and I'm going to try to complete Two Green Angel Tower by Tad Williams, which is very, very large. I mean, it covers half my face. It only seems appropriate for the theme of the readathon because George R.R. Martin has credited the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn series by Tad Williams as being his inspiration for really wanting to write his fantasy series, Song of Ice and Fire. I can prove it because he actually says that in the blurb on the back of this book. I want to read this in a month-long readathon to keep me inspired, and I also want to read it in a month like this one, which is March, that is going to have spring break. I'm going to have a week off of work, so I think you should read your over 1,000-page books during those weeks off work. Am I right? Moving on to the Stark-specific challenges. First challenge, and the first part of the journey in the Stark house, is to feed the direwolves. Read a book with an animal in the title, on the cover, or in the book. I recently bought books, and I just so happened, luckily, to buy a book that I think will cover every single one of those things, and that would be The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. I do think it's going to be a little hard-hitting, but I also think that it will be intriguing. And it's got a dog on the cover, it's got a dog in the title, and I know that there's a dog in the plot line from what I believe. The Winter Sky, read a book with gray or silver on the cover. For this, I'm going to read something else that's hard-hitting and has social commentary. And that is The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. I'm ready for the emo-ness and the feels, because I've heard that that's pretty much what Toni Morrison offers you. So, excited, super silvery. Then we have Visit John Before He Heads to the Wall. Read a book that includes travel. So, this one's a little tricky for me because when you haven't read a book before, you're not 100% sure if it includes travel. However, I have joined the Dark Tower readathon, and each month you read certain Stephen King books that are in the Dark Tower series or connected to it. This would be in March, a connected to it time, and the book for the month of March, I believe, is Rose Matter, which I think has interdimensional travel. I will probably read that for this challenge. If for some reason I get into Rose Matter and it doesn't have very much actual travel in it, I may pick something up, come up with a backup, or I may just do a combo challenge and just read To Green Angel Tower as like a double up sort of situation, because I'm like at least 75-80% sure that this is going to include travel. So this one is up for change, shall we say. And the last challenge is to help Arya practice sparring. Read a book about someone in training. I wanted to be sure I picked something that I knew had someone training for something in it. So I'm going to reread a book, and I have chosen Dancing Through Fire by Catherine Lasky. Now, this was from a series for middle grade or young adult that was called Portraits, as you can see, if you can see this gold lettering here. It's obviously based around different famous paintings that people wrote stories about different famous paintings, and it follows the character of this girl in this Degas painting, or the imagination of what the author thinks she's about. And I know she's training for dance at the Paris Opera is what I do remember about it. And I also remember about it that she had like a special lucky pair of point shoes that made her feet look like beautiful. And I was like, as a dancer, like relatable. I also think this is a perfect choice for an aria challenge because water dancing, but also a lot of ballet is based on fencing. So it's the perfect thing for this readathon. That was my to be read for the gotathon. I really enjoyed the last round, so I'm very excited to join this new journey of books. And let me know in the comments if you have any thoughts on the books that I plan to pick up, or if you're just joining this readathon and you want to, like, we can give each other a verbal high five and look for the readathon. I also think that would be super cool. Comments are love, so go ahead and do that below in the comments. And that is it for the day. I will see you all later. Goodbye, friends.